Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 60. This episode marks the start of Season 2. Why is it Season 2? Besides us arbitrarily saying it's Season 2, we have a couple changes to the show. For those watching the video version of the podcast, you might see that we have a fancy new background that integrates our new logo, and we also have a new intro theme song. Take a listen. Fantastic. My goodness. I'm absolutely loving that song. This song and logo, and our new logo, were made for us by the incredibly talented Roger Pollard. You can check out more of his work on rpollard.com. That is RPOLLARD.com. Links to that will be in the description of the show. Huge thanks to him for doing that stuff for us. Anywho, I'm Andros, and I am joined by my co-host, Micah.
Yep.
It's a little different of a start. I really wanted to let the song, I really wanted to give the full song play there, just because it's just so awesome. I'm so excited about it. We also have a new outro, which we'll play at the end of the show. Fits with the intro. It's great. Yeah. As we kick off this Season 2, we wanted to let you know we are currently in the works for getting some Nintendo Pals merch. That's right. We are still working out the details on that. Wanted to get that done in time, but, quality takes some time, right? And that's what we're going to try and do. Go for the quality. I mean, we could just, slap... we spray paint Nintendo Pals on a shirt,
drawn stuff.
Yeah, like a piece of paper from a notebook. We just tape it onto the shirt.
That was my recommendation, but Andros shot me down.
Yeah, I felt like we should probably do a little bit more on that. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. We will also be doing scheduled streaming 3 days a week. Wednesday night, Michael will be streaming. Thursday night, I will be streaming. And Friday night will be the live podcast, as always. A live podcast stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have a stream schedule more solidified and set. So check our Twitch channel and, check that out. We're having a blast doing streams over there. In addition to that, we will be launching a brand new Nintendo Pals trailer, which is going to be kind of detailing what we do here. So once that goes live, we'd love your help sharing that online. And speaking of sharing, I wanted to highlight some 5-star reviews that we received this week. I should have pulled these up in advance. I always forget to do this, but we got 7 brand new 5-star reviews to our podcast. So let's read the first one here. Comes from 660130069 on Apple Podcasts. Good times, well done. classy review. Thank you so much for the 5-star review. I'm not going to repeat. I like what do we I'm not going to repeat that string of numbers. But appreciate it. Absolutely appreciate you coming out and giving us a 5-star review. And then we got a couple on Podchaser as well. We also got 4 more reviews on Apple Podcasts that did not have any written words, but thank you so much for those. If you don't write something, then it doesn't show your name. So I can't shout you out specifically, but I know you're out there and you left 5-star reviews. Thank you for doing that. Brand new on Podchaser, we have a review from Tim, our buddy from the Nintendo Dads. I love how creative these guys are. Their podcasts are so fun to listen to. And have you seen them on Twitch? The best. Bonus, Micah loves Metroid. 5 stars for that alone. LOL. Yes. Speaking of which, we have a question in the chat from Legendary Epic Adventures. Asks, will you guys be streaming Metroid Dread? That's a good question. Micah, maybe we should maybe that's one to race. We could race in. You would win, but that would be fun.
There's a chance you could beat me.
I think Micah might be something Micah streams for sure. You've done 4 runs now. We'll talk about that and what you're playing. But
It's actually been 5 runs.
Wow. Okay. And then our last 5-star review I want to highlight today comes from Dan Caparello, our buddy from Retro Logic. He says, one of the funniest Nintendo podcasts out there. Love the Twitch content too. Wow, both of them highlighting our Twitch content. They're like promoting us with. They were not paid, but we'll slip you guys your cut later. No. Thank you so much, Dan from Retro Logic and Tim from the Nintendo Dads. I was on the Nintendo Dads last night, actually, so you can check out the latest episode of the Nintendo Dads podcast to hear some spicy takes from me. It was really quite fun. We had a blast, taking basically 3 different sides on the whole NSO on. I almost said NSO online, which would be online. The NSO debate. Yeah. It's fun. So, all the housekeeping items out of the way, right? 5-star reviews. Thank you so much for those that have left 5-star reviews. But Micah, did you know that 40%, like close to 40% of our audience listens to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, and definitely not 40% of that number has left reviews. So if you are one of those listeners, just hop on down there, leave a 5-star review. Yup, pretty good. That's all you gotta say. 5 stars, yep, pretty good. It's easy, and it helps us so much. You have no idea how much it helps us move up in the rankings. You search Nintendo podcasts right now, and we're up there in the top 20 in search results. That's right. And it is all thanks to help from listeners like you. Thank you. Oh, wow. Well, yeah. So last little bit of intro announcement here. It is Plocktober, and we have been celebrating Plock all month long.
Don't worry, it's ending soon.
It will never end, Micah. Plock for life. For those watching or listening, I've thrown my Plock copy at the camera. Yes. So if you want to get in on Plocktober, there is still a chance you can sign up for Plock Talk podcast, a special episode of Retro Logic podcast. It is Plock Talk number 2, and I am planning to be there, so come hang out and chat Plock. You can also check out Keep Nintendo Weird, a branch of the All In podcast group. I was on a special episode of that Talkin' Plock, and I've been streaming Plock. So yeah, it's been just a Plock-filled month. I know a lot of people are like, what the heck is Plock? Man, just go listen to the plethora of episodes. We have I think it was episode 56, 57 of Nintendo Pals. We talk all about Plock. And you can get a dive into what that game is and why I love it so much. Anywho, that is it for the introduction. So, Micah, after all this, how the heck are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Season 2. Some things never change. Micah's still doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good as well. It's been a long...
Are you just copying me?
I'm just copying. It's been a long day. I had a very late night, and then overslept my alarm this morning, was late to work, was late to getting home, and the kids today were quite a handful. My poor wife has had a day, and I came home to more having a day, so we're chill now, it's bedtime. So that's like, it's one of those days where you make it
forward to time of the day for a parent.
One of those kinds of days where it definitely was a time we were like, please, bedtime come. But we have a lot of fun. Yeah, so I'm exhausted. I'll tell you that. I had a blast being on the Nintendo Dads podcast last night. That podcast went till well after midnight my time, and then I stayed for the after show that they do and talked for almost another full podcast length of time, because they're just such cool guys over there. Definitely check out the Nintendo Dads. Anywho, why don't we jump into the first segment of our show, which is What You Playing? I can start this one off. I've been playing some Metroid Dread. Still working my way through my first run. I'm not quite... No, I haven't had quite as much time to dedicate to it as I would like. But I am loving it. I'm loving it. Just took out the 4th Emmy, and I'm currently working my way around the 5th, and I think there's 6 in total. Is that right?
7.
7? So I might be 5th doing the 6th right now. I don't know. It's the one that can send like pulse things out to slow you down, and has crazy range.
Yeah.
I've died a lot to that enemy. That's for sure. And then I also started a new island in Animal Crossing. I think I talked about this last week, but if I didn't, this week, so I've been plugging away at a new island. I have access to my old island and access to my old bank account, so I'm paying off my home loan basically every time I log into play. Cheese in the system.
Practically cheating while creating a new island.
Yes, but I'm not time traveling, so there's that. I didn't time travel in my first island. But yeah, I'm just trying to get the island all prepped and maxed out for the DLC, which is coming on November 5th. Pretty pumped for that. And besides that, I always forget what I've been playing, and I'm glad I have my Switch right here next to me, so I can check. Jackbox Party Pack 8. Super fun game. We played a bit on stream. I can't remember, okay, so I'm like, my timing's messed up. I'm like, did we talk about this last week? We didn't, because my birthday was this week, and we did a birthday stream, and that was a lot of fun. So I started off...
It was really hard to throw one of those Jackbox games so you could win on your birthday.
But you did it.
Yeah, but I managed to do it.
Yeah,
so I actually managed to throw all of the games to give you an extra good chance of winning.
Yeah, it was quite chivalrous, as one might say. I played Animal Crossing at the start of that stream. Then, as soon as Sora dropped in Super Smash Bros., we swapped over to Super Smash Bros. And played some Sora online. You and I both got it, and we were playing with a gaggle of people who were playing online as well. I am definitely not that good at Smash Bros. By comparison to you and Third Strongest Mole. Gosh, you guys are killer.
Mole was showing us how it was done.
Oh yeah, he was wiping the floor with us. His Ridley was quite lethal to Sora. But Sora's so fun to play as, man. Like, I don't know if we want to both kind of talk about what we like about the character, but I really think it's true to the games. And as a fan of Kingdom Hearts, I feel like he's just a great nod to those games as a character. He's very floaty, but simultaneously kind of heavy, if that makes any sense. Like, his jumps take a little bit to get going, but then he's very floaty.
Yeah, he's not like, he's mostly an aerial fighter, seems like, but he's not the fastest in the air. He's kind of slow, kind of like Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
It just gives you more hang time to stay up there.
Yeah, but his jumps are a little slower than Jigglypuff, I'd say. It takes a little bit for his jump to like take off. I guess it's just, you're right. It's the slow animations to get started on things. His magic attack is pretty cool. It cycles through 3 different spells: Fire Spell, Ice Spell, and Thunder. And I think it's Fire Aga, Ice Aga, Thundaga. I don't know. I add Aga to the end of everything. That's how Kingdom Hearts works.
It's mostly just spamming through to get to that Thunder attack. It's so good.
Yeah, the Thundaga is like crazy good. It's like Pikachu's Thunderbolt, except it does 3 of them and out in front of you. So you can imagine it's kind of OP. And if you get hit with one of them, it will like knock you into the other ones and launch you. So it has some pretty good launch power as well.
It can be hard to get back to the ledge if Sora has that ready to go.
Yeah. Sora is actually very good countering Sora. Like he's got good combos against himself to get back onto the stage, because his recovery is just crazy good, stupidly good recovery for Sora.
Yeah, if you don't like instantly die, you can definitely recover.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna make it back to the edge if you can. Yeah, and his up B attack is really strong. He has some really, really powerful attacks, but there's a lot of delay in the animation after the attack, so you have to kind of plan those. I don't know how to describe him other than like if Jigglypuff and Ike formed into one character, right? Like that's kind of what it is. Yeah, super good, super fun. And then we finished the stream off with some Jackbox. Played Jackbox Party Pack with people on Twitch. Thanks for everybody who was out there and played with us. Super fun. We played Pole Mine and Job.
Was it okay? Yeah, I remember the name Job, but I couldn't remember if that was the one we actually played.
Yeah, both were super fun. I think Job might be one of my new favorites, and Pole Mine was actually really good. The whole pack, I've played every game in it now. It has Drawful Animate, which is a fun party game where you draw like a 2-frame animated sticky note, essentially, and players have to try and guess what it is and also make up fake answers for other people to trick them into guessing. If you played the board game Balderdash, it's very similar to that, if you played that. And then there's one called the Wheel of Enormous Proportions. It's a trivia game that has a wheel of enormous proportions that you spin. By answering more questions correctly, you get more spots on the wheel, and then you spin the wheel and hope that you get a ton of points. And if you have enough points, you get to spin the winning wheel, and if you land on the winning space on the winning wheel, you get your one question answered by the Wheel of Enormous Proportions, which is the host of the game, as well as the main game mechanic. It's not my favorite. That's probably my least favorite in the pack, but I was on Nintendo Dads yesterday, and Jesse said that was his favorite in the pack. So if you're into trivia, maybe it's more your speed. I'm not not into trivia, but I like the other trivia games and other Jackbox games more, if I'm being honest. And then, like I said, Pole Mine, which is like Family Feud, but instead of being pulled from like general populace, it's just within the group that's playing. and it's very fun. We have to kind of guess how things are voted in different orders. Yeah, I thought we had an absolute blast with that. I thought it was funny that we had one where one of the answers was Kirby and another was Pac-Man. It was like, which circle do you want on your side?
Yeah.
And I was like, how fitting. A Nintendo podcast stream, Nintendo Pals stream, and we got one that was specifically had Kirby, and Kirby was the number one voted answer for that.
Although I have a confession to make. I voted the number one as the sun.
Did you?
I mean, no offense, Kirby, but I think the sun could take him.
I don't know. Hasn't Kirby like destroyed entire planets before? I'm pretty sure he has.
I mean, the sun's bigger than most planets.
That is also true.
And
Speaking of destroying, Weapons Drawn is another game in the pack, and Weapons Drawn's pretty fun. You're given a letter from your name in the game, and that's sort of your tag. That's like, oh, this is, did I say number? Letter. Yeah, so you have a letter given from your name, and that letter is then you have to integrate it into the picture and try and hide it, the picture that you're drawing. So it's super fun. It's a little complicated because there's a lot of phases to it, but I had a good time with that one. And then the last one, probably my favorite in the pack, is Job, which is kind of like Quiplash, but you use answers from other people's responses to basically
like
make sentences.
Puzzle piece using other people's words from their answers to make your own answer to a different question.
Right. Yeah, that was Jackbox Party Pack 8. Super fun. I'm really enjoying it. So I've purchased a lot and played a lot of Jackbox Party Pack games. My favorite is still Party Pack 7. I think that's got the best games in it. This is up there, maybe second or third best in the packs. Yeah.
I think my favorite game of all time is the TKO.
Yeah, I think that's from 3. I want to say Party Pack 3. And that and 8 are on par for quality, in my opinion. Yeah, really like it so far. It's a good one. Definitely pick it up if you want a party game. And the thing is, you think like, oh, well, I don't have a whole lot of people over. It plays very well over video call. It played pretty well over stream, even for me not turning on the stream settings, because you can turn it on to have extended timers and stuff. But it plays very well over like conference call. And this is a game that you can play with everybody. You can get grandma, you can get Uncle Bob, you can get all the non-gamers in your family are actually going to be into something like this. All you need is a smartphone. It's pretty sweet. Micah, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Metroid Dread. I think people would have been able to guess that answer, considering I just beat it for the 5th time, like yesterday. It was my 0% item speed run. Not speed run. I always say speed run on accident. My 0% item run.
Yeah.
So no picking up energy tanks or missiles.
See, that is like stream quality right there. Like if you had done that on stream, I feel like that would have been super fun to watch.
Yeah, but then people also would have had to watch me take like an hour and a half to beat the last boss. It takes so long without missiles. And I'm just like, I'm spamming that shoot button so hard, my thumb's like cramping up. But overall, it was a lot of fun. If a little bit frustrating on occasion when I had to restart because I accidentally picked up like a missile pack. There are a few times where they just put a missile pack like right in your way and you have to like jump over it just right to not get it. But it was a good time, mostly.
Nice. Yeah, so you didn't pick up any. You picked up all the like equipment, but not the power-ups, but not the additional energy tanks or missiles.
Yeah, although technically you can skip some of those power-ups, but I'm definitely not going to be trying one of those runs. It sounds terrible.
A minimalist run. Like, see how little you can go. I'm sure that's going to be a category in speed run.
Oh, for sure. I'm interested to see how well those go, because the game has its own kind of speedrun timer, but I don't know if speedruns, because in the game they have your own timer for how long it took, but it doesn't account for all like your game overs. It just takes your like successful attempts on things. So it kind of differ. It'll probably differ from the actual speedrun record, like times that
Right.
people will use.
Right. I'm assuming they will not count those. But who knows?
Yeah, so I mean, it took me like 4.5 hours in game, supposedly, but it took a bit longer than that.
Nice.
So that's what I spent most of my time playing. I did play a little bit of Fortnite, but before the Fortnitemares Horde mode thing came out. But I will probably be trying some of that tonight, Friday. And I guess besides that, played some Pokemon Unite. They just added Greedent, like chipmunk Pokemon that I do not know much about, to be honest.
They added a new Pokemon to that? Oh. Hey, well.
I didn't know until I hopped on this morning and played a little bit.
There was no fanfare for that. I didn't see any news for that.
Yeah, it seemed like a kind of random one to throw in. It's like practically the new Bidoof or something.
Why didn't they put Bidoof in? I would love Bidoof. That'd be fun.
Yeah, so far they are a pain in the butt. They throw around lots of berries and then pick them up and eat them and gain health or something. And they're really fast. I kept trying to slow them as my slow bro, but no such luck. I couldn't even begin to damage them faster than they could heal. So I don't know. Maybe I just played against them very, very poorly, or maybe they will be receiving a nerf in the near future. We will see.
Maybe we need to start playing as this character, is what you're saying.
Oh, definitely. Although to be fair, I was playing as Slowbro, a defender, and all my items were geared towards being as tanky as possible. So that didn't help. Besides that, played some Rocket League.
Nice. So you played Metroid and then a whole bunch of like continuous development games, like the well that we always go to. Fortnite, Rocket League.
Games I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I probably played Metroid Prime more than I played the rest of those put together. So Metroid Dread. Did I say Prime?
You said Prime. Yeah. You're just so we just want it. We just want it
for it.
Micah, can I tell you that I really didn't talk enough to Metroid Dread. I've been absolutely loving this game. I am a fan now. I'm a Metroid guy now, I've decided. I was not
fan enough to go back to play the Prime trilogy.
Yeah, have they re-released that? I'd probably check it out.
I mean,
I think I'm
on your Wii U.
Here's the thing. When I become a fan of a series, I don't automatically go like, I need to go play all the old ones. I just don't have that kind of time. First off,
all the old ones, just the good ones.
Just the good ones.
Except potentially
this game is so good. I think this might be game of the year for me. I really do. It's the lighting. I always talk about the lighting because it's just like it's so intense and great looking on the Switch OLED. Like really, really good looking. The animations, the gameplay, the controls are super smooth. It just feels good to play. I don't really know how else to describe it besides that. I am not actually that big into like the Metroidvania genre. Unless, does Spelunky count as a Metroidvania? I don't think it does.
Close enough.
You have a whip. You have a whip.
It's a 2D platformer.
But like
some light exploration,
like Hollow Knight didn't grab me like it does for a lot of people. I recognize it as a fantastic game, so don't at me, don't hate me. But it didn't pull me in like Metroid's pulled me in. Like Metroid is super good. I really like the story elements. Yeah, as someone who didn't play a whole lot of Metroid prior to this, besides Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, I would say like, yeah, like am indifferent towards Metroid as a series, but now I am a fan, and I am so much more pumped now for Metroid Prime 4. Like, seriously, I'm here. I'm here with you, my guy. I'm not at your level. I don't think anybody can get that pumped. But I'm here with you now. Not as just a supporting friend, but as I actually want this game and want to play it.
I won't have to convince you to buy it launch day.
Oh, heck no. I will be buying this I'll be buying Prime 4 launch day for sure. It's just such a good series. The story, the gameplay, yeah, I know it's very different in the Prime trilogy, but like this Dread is good enough that I don't care. Like I'm getting anything with Metroid on it. Yeah.
What if Federation Force 2 came out?
I probably would get it actually. Other M port, I don't know. Probably.
I heard the gameplay's real good. I kind of regret not picking that up back in the day.
Yeah. Probably pretty cheap now. I don't know how much it is. Check it out.
Because I was hoping when I looked it up.
That's a bummer. Yeah. So there you go. I'm a Metroid fan now. Here I am. Anything else you want to highlight you've been playing?
I think that covers everything. Well, I mean, I played some Smash Bros. With you and the Jackbox, but I think that's everything.
Now you got the full pack, Fighter Pass 2. How do you like the other characters in it?
I think they're good. I haven't played as them too much. I had just picked it up when Sora came out. Mm-hmm. So I've only played as the other characters a couple times. But Steve's always fun just because of his unique movesets.
Yeah, for real. He is a lot of fun to play as. Steve and Sora are the ones that I picked up. I picked up the individual characters because I figured getting the pack, both packs, I was like, I just don't think I'll use them. And I don't play Smash Bros. Enough to really warrant getting them, but I had to get Steve and I had to get Sora. Yeah.
Although I did have my favorite Steve kill when I was fighting against Steve by countering his anvil as Fox. And it hops back up a little bit after you counter it.
Oh, that's pretty great.
It was incredible. Actually the greatest moment of my life. Because that anvil is the worst.
Yeah, it is. So much. Well, let's move to the next segment of our show, my guy. Let's jump into some news. What do you say? Nintendo news! Alrighty. There's, it's a little bit lighter of a news week. I think Nintendo kind of dropped everything with that Animal Crossing Direct, and they're like, dust settling. But there is some news to talk about. So first off, I wanted to bring to attention Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which was set to launch December 3rd, will now release for the Nintendo Switch in spring 2022. So it's a bummer for those who are looking forward to playing it this year, but they said it just needs a little bit more time to cook, to polish. I'm okay with that, honestly. I would rather it be complete and polished and nice than rush something out the door, always. And to be honest,
too many games coming out already.
There are too many games coming out already. I was not
gonna lie. When I heard about this, I was like, maybe they're just realizing there are too many things coming out this holiday.
Yeah, seriously, there's just so much to play. We're gonna have. Okay, let me see here. We had a comment on it in Discord from our good buddy Dan, who was like, Animal Crossing, so Mario Superstars this next Friday, Animal Crossing the Friday after that. Wow, it's that soon? It's only 2 weeks away. Zelda Game & Watch the Friday after that. Pokemon the Friday after that. And then 2 weeks later was when Advance Wars was supposed to come out. Big Brain Academy coming out the same day. And Danganronpa. It's a stacked holiday. And then you also got Diamond and Pearl remakes coming in November. And was there something set for December? Or was Advance Wars it? I feel like there was something else.
Yeah, that might have been it actually.
That might
But I
be it
mean,
first party, but that's a lot of stuff. That's a
then I
lot of
think
stuff.
next month, Pokemon Legends as well.
That's in January. Yeah. Very, very start of January for Pokemon Legends. And the thing is, like, you say, like, oh, well, it's coming out in spring, so that's nice. It will have some room to breathe. No, next year is stacked. Already we know that we're getting Bayonetta 3, Splatoon 3, Breath of the Wild 2,
I'd somehow forgotten about that actually.
Pokemon Legends.
Kind of upset you reminded me about that, and I have to get all hyped again.
All of there's more. There's too much to remember offhand. My like internal RAM is not very big, so I can only remember like 3 games at a time.
And potentially Prime 4. You never know.
Yeah.
It could happen. I mean, that would be like almost 4 years after they mentioned. I mean, if it came out at the end of next year, that'd be about 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did I mention something?
So
crazy.
It might be getting room to breathe, but it might not be, actually. Isn't Kirby also coming out next year? New Kirby?
True.
Oh man, there's so many games coming out next year already, like that are planned for 2022. So Advance Wars, you're never gonna have a spot, you know? It's spring. Let's just do it.
Trying to type slowly to look that up without it picking it up on the mic.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I think it's just spring of next year.
Yeah, there were
earlier than I remembered.
We're getting all sorts of games coming in 2022. The next news item we got here is if you missed out on the Metroid Dread holographic poster set, they have restocked that. So if you got 1,000 points on My Nintendo Rewards.com, I don't know if that's like the website URL, but just search My Nintendo Rewards.
My Nintendo's always how I start getting to it.
Yeah, 1,000 points. I think we talked about this last time. It's pretty quick to get those 1,000 points if you just sign up for a couple of Nintendo's apps and then link those.
People let me know that those like weird Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and like Fire Emblem mobile coin and Mario Run coin things you can get, those also count as platinum coins. Yep. I had no idea. I thought they were specific for spending on things in those games. So I linked like 3 different accounts to Animal Crossing and got 900 coins.
Yeah.
I was able to get it.
Yep. Yeah, it's like link to Facebook, link to Twitter, link to this, and you get like...
Oh, yeah, and then just link to your My Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah, 900 points right there. Easy to get, and these posters, I'm sure, look really good. Mine have not arrived yet. I've been waiting. They were supposed to arrive this week, and I haven't seen them yet.
And they're like 11 by 18, I think, which is that's pretty good size. Yeah.
Speaking of pretty good size, new Pokemon in Suin region. It's like a stupid transition. What a segue. New Pokemon announced for Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm going to say it that way, and not Arceus. Arceus. They did a very odd trailer. So, yeah, it starts with this, like, very choppy looking footage, like very, very choppy, grainy.
Yes. I can't remember who mentioned, but they said it is very, like, Blair Witch.
Yeah. Kind of horror movie looking. You're right. Like, it was, like, found footage of this thing. And it's choppy and broken up, but the person filming is out on some sort of expedition in snowy land, and he is documenting Pokemon, and goes up and is like, oh, what is that? And starts describing a Pokemon as like it's
fluffy. That's all I remember.
It's fluffy. It's got white fur. It kind of looks like a fox, or no, he described other Pokemon that it looked like. And then you hear like a, oh no, and then just like obvious he gets attacked or something, and the camera falls. And you're like, what? And that was it. That was all they said. It was like, we found this footage. And it's like, oh my goodness. It was kind of dark for a Pokemon clip. Anyways, a couple days later, I think it was a couple days later. At some point after that, they released the footage. They found it cleaned up and nice in their records.
They just cleaned it up themselves.
Oh man, they have the tech to do that. I mean, this is Pokemon. It's kind of sci-fi-y.
They do what they want. Pokemon universe, let's be honest.
Yeah. And so crisp, clear footage. We got to see that the new Pokemon that this researcher found were the Hisuian forms of Zorora and Zoroark. I hope I'm pronouncing those right. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing Zoroark right, but I'm not sure how to pronounce Zorora.
So it seems so hard to say when I say it.
Yeah. Zorora. I think I'm putting in extra R's. Zorora. I'm putting like 2 R's in there for some reason.
R right for the last A.
Yeah, Zoroark. And Zoroark had some like shadowy ghost thing that popped out and got the guy. But it's okay.
Popped up from behind them. I mean,
yeah, it could have been something else. You're right. It's okay. He fainted, was taken to a Pokemon Center, and
whited out.
Yeah, he whited out. Researcher whited out, and he's good because it's Pokemon. Nobody dies in Pokemon. Okay, there's only fainting. We don't talk about the Pokemon Ghost Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a cool way to do that. Very outside of Nintendo and Pokemon's normal.
Unexpected.
Normal.
Especially for Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It's also interesting, the typing on this Pokemon is going to be Ghost Normal dual typing, which gives it a lot of strengths bonuses and only like 3 weaknesses, which is pretty strong type matchup.
That makes them immune to... Oh, no, it doesn't make them immune to fighting, does it? I can't remember if Ghost or if it's just not effective. I think they're immune against normal attacks.
Yes.
Ghosts.
So are they immune to normal attacks even though they're normal typing? I don't know exactly how it's going to work.
I think so, because they have some like ground Pokemon mixed with something else combo, and I think those are still immune to thunder attacks.
What's really interesting is that the Hisui region is supposed to be a primitive Sinnoh, and Zorora and Zoroark are not Sinnoh Pokemon. They originate from Gen 5, Pokemon Black and White is where you first introduced those Pokemon. They're a fan favorite though. I'm actually a big fan of Zoroark. I think they're cool design. I like their lore in the game as well. They were like posing as an NPC. It's pretty cool because they have the transformability like Ditto. Yeah. Next news item we got here: Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition gets a November release date. I believe it's November 11th. Is what I saw online for pre-order. So, yeah, if you are into Grand Theft Auto, did you figure out which 3 it comes with?
Yeah, I had to look it up, and it's Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice, and San Andreas.
Okay. Yeah, so which...
So like, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, I was like, aren't there like a bajillion games? Like,
yeah,
how are you supposed to know?
A lot of those are just huge fan favorites if you're a fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. Micah and I are not. I don't think I've played any Grand Theft Auto, except for, like, I think we had it on computer, like one of the original ones, like the top-down. And once we figured out what the game like was, my parents were like, nope.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that was when I was really young, so I have vague memories of that. I'm like, these are not in any particular order. Like, it would have made sense to talk Pokemon Cafe after Pokemon Legends, but we're talking now.
Maybe.
Pokemon Cafe Remix is releasing on October 28th, which is like a revamped, remastered, good game. I guess it's gonna be launching the end of this month, just a week or so away from when this episode goes live. Fairbear, thanks in chat, says that's probably GTA 2 that I was playing. Probably true. I remember taking the cars and driving off bridges and stuff. You
stole from people? Wow.
I was too young to know any better.
I thought I knew you.
You've played Spelunky with me, sir.
That is a very good point.
if 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 that's an indicator of anything, it's that I don't mind stealing from video game characters.
And also murdering shopkeepers.
Also, the first time I played Skyrim, I was like, Thieves Guild. That was like my goal. Oh, what is wrong with me? I don't do anything like that in real life, guys. I'm very by the books. I'm actually very, very upset when people don't follow rules. I'm like, you gotta follow the rules. You gotta go the speed limit. I'm a law-abiding to the extreme. I guess I am just a two-faced person. In games, I am very much not that. Like, break the game, steal from all the people.
You gotta live out your stealing tendencies in video games so it doesn't bleed over into real life.
Yeah, it's keeping it contained. It's like some weird split personality. Yes. And then lastly, you hit on this a little bit. Fortnitemares is going on now in Fortnite. I have not jumped into this at all. Apparently there's some cool zombie horde mode stuff. Do you know any more about this? Because I really didn't look up much beyond. It's what it is.
Something about some queen or something.
I did see that trailer for the Cube Queen.
There was a trailer for that?
Yeah.
I just heard about it.
In addition, if you're into Dune and the new Dune movie that came out, they did do a collaboration. Dune characters are in Fortnite. You can purchase those.
Get some more of them book characters.
That's right. And so here's the thing, Michael. Like, that's 2 book collaborations. I mean, Dune was technically for the movie, but it was a book first. Okay, it's a book. Okay, we got that. You got Kelsier.
Yeah.
It's Kelsier. Yeah.
That just means there's going to be a Kelsier movie. Some nice Mistborn movie.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
Actually,
although I feel
Brandon
like
Sanderson is kind of writing what is called the
screenplay.
Yeah, I have heard something about that, so we might actually be getting one of those at some point in time.
Let's do more book collaborations. Let's get Harry Potter in there. Let's get Legolas and the Lord of the Rings crew in there. What other books do we got in here?
A tall Gimli, so that
a tall Gimli, so that he fits.
Yeah,
I don't know how that would work.
Or they just added. He's just the new Odd Job.
Yeah, just he's really short and broken.
Yeah, he is the best.
I'm trying to think what other book characters. I would love to see more Brandon Sanderson characters in. I know that's kind of that's probably outside of the realm of what they'd be willing to do, but man, it'd be cool because Kelsier is so cool. I exclusively play as Kelsier still, so
I mean, could throw in Vince from the same book series.
Yeah, no, I want Kaladin.
Archives.
Kaladin from Stormlight Archives. That's a must. That's the next one. Yeah. So that's it for the Nintendo news. And we don't have anything in the rumor mill this week. Kind of thankful for that. Let's not talk about more Switch
Pro. We didn't have to talk about the 4K Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So let's move over to the last segment and the meat of this podcast show, the Community Corner. The Community Corner is a place where we can be asked questions and given topics submitted by the community. If you would like to do that, you can join up our Discord. Links are in the description of the podcast. All of these come from Discord. I did put out feelers for it on Twitter as well, but didn't get any responses over there. So yeah, you can also send us your questions and topics on Twitter at Nintendo Pals. So first question here comes from Spider-Shan. It says, you get on an elevator and realize that Miyamoto is standing beside you. You have just enough time to ask him one question. What is it? Micah, do you have an answer for this?
I kind of do. I know what would actually happen in this situation, and that would be I would internally panic, and I wouldn't even say anything.
An honest
Oh my gosh,
answer.
I just don't want to come across like an idiot in front of him. Like, maybe just like a so.
Hey, I like Nintendo. That would actually be kind of embarrassing. That's the one thing you say. I like Nintendo. I'd want him to sign something, probably. I know, I would just full geek it. I would be like, Miyamoto, can you sign, like, hopefully, I'm always carrying my copy of
Find some, like,
Plock.
trash on the floor.
I'm always carrying my copy of Plock in my pocket, so I'll have him sign this, even though he didn't make this game. If I have access to something that I could have him sign, like a Mario game. Oh, Super Mario World? Super Mario... Wait, I got that on here.
But do you have it on the elevator?
Yeah, I don't know. My Switch? Have him sign my Switch? That would be cool.
But then you like wouldn't be able to play it because then like you might rub off the signature.
Oh yeah, I'd have to buy a new Switch for sure. For sure. Yeah, it would be a display piece from then on out. The signed Switch. So besides that, let me ask a question here. I really don't know. There's like so much. I would love to talk to Miyamoto and hear about what happens behind the scenes. But a lot of stuff that I would think to ask on the spot has been answered already. Do you think he knows where Breath of the Wild falls on the timeline?
I don't think anyone knows where Breath of the Wild falls on the timeline.
Where does Breath of the Wild fall on the timeline, Miyamoto? I would probably ask... I am genuinely curious if he remembers Plock and if he still holds it as like one of the best games, one of the best platformers.
How heartbreaking would it be if you're like, do you remember Plock? And he's just like, what?
And then the elevator opens up and he looks at me funny and leaves. Yeah. What a bummer that would be.
Air Bear has a good answer for a question. Will you hire me? Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the answer to that would be just no, right off.
It'd be a bold question to ask, right? Maybe he'd be like, all right, nobody asks me that just outright like this. The first thing they say to me, will you hire me, Miyamoto? Yeah. That is a good question. I would ask, will you be a guest on Nintendo Pals podcast? Boom. That's my official answer, Spider-Shan. And then he would answer in Japanese and I would not know what he said, and then he would leave. Yeah. Thank you for that question. He asks another one here. What game or series would you most love to read a book about its development? Love this question because this is I eat this kind of stuff up. I love to learn about the behind the scenes on games. I think my number one top pick here is going to be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I really want to read a whole book on the ins and outs of what went down and how different things happened. Yeah, that's my answer.
Even especially just like how it all got started. Yeah, I feel like I should remember this, but like who originally was like, hey, what if we just like took all these characters and had them fight?
I think that's Sakurai.
I mean, he's a genius.
Yeah. I might be miscrediting him, but I mean, he is a genius regardless.
I like to imagine it was just some like random intern at the time. They're just like
unpaid, the unpaid intern.
Yeah, and who came up with like one of the greatest gaming franchises of all time.
I think he has talked about this. Sakurai.
Yeah, I know I've like read about this before, and I don't remember like anything.
He
My memory's
developed
so bad.
he developed the game with that in mind, but originally had different characters because he didn't think it would be possible to do. But then showed it to someone who was like, "Nah, that's a great idea. Let's put the characters in and let's get on this." So I think that's how it went down, but I'm maybe just completely making up a story right now. Could be what's happening. What game would you pick?
Well, I would choose the Metroid franchise probably. I would be curious to see what happened, more specifics along the way with Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Also, Prime 4.
Yeah, I was going to say Prime 4 is going to have an interesting development history for sure.
It just like stops all of a sudden before it comes out because it can't predict the future unless it's a really cool book. And it'll tell me the release date.
It's like, and it's out now. Like,
but yeah, I mean, because they're just like, it's in the back of the book.
Yeah, and it's like right here. Ooh, that would be hilarious. That would be what a way to announce a game coming out. Let's do weird stuff like that.
Yeah, because I mean, there are just like so many rumors about Metroid Dread.
Yeah,
coming out and things about it. I'm just like curious, like how those rumors matched up with what was happening behind the scenes.
Oh, thank you so much for the question, Spider Shan. I think our answers were pretty like pretty obvious from games that we picked. I think you'd pick Smash Bros if I hadn't picked that. But Metroid's a fantastic answer.
A cool one to learn about all like.
I would also love to hear more behind the scenes for Breath of the Wild, but they have released quite a bit of that and done a lot of interviews and talking about it. They're doing better with that stuff, for sure. Maybe Ocarina of Time, but I don't want to bring that game up. So let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next question here from Dan, our buddy at Retro Logic asks, "What's a game you haven't played from one of your favorite IPs, and why haven't you played it?" Mike, I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but from the Metroid series, I'm mostly Metroid. I guess it's not really Metroid Prime, but Other M. Just all of the bad reviews about it when it came out. People were like slamming on it, and it had been so long. It was just too heartbreaking at the time for me to think about playing a Metroid game that was terrible. But nowadays, I kind of regret not playing it. I heard that the gameplay is actually pretty good, and to be honest, I'm probably would be a little more forgiving of the storyline than most people. I don't mind too much if those aren't good, but at the same time, maybe it's worse than I'm thinking.
I didn't want to give my obvious answer, which is Wind Waker.
Block 2.
Block 2. That doesn't exist. Yeah, I had to play that for sure.
The first one apparently didn't do very well, so they didn't make a second.
Wind Waker's always the go-to answer to this question, but because
haven't you played it?
And that's the second half of the question. Why haven't you played it? I didn't have a GameCube, so I missed out on a lot of GameCube. But I think I'm going to go. It's GameCube games. So I'm just gonna say the same ones I always say: Wind Waker and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I really want to play them, but I didn't have.
Mansion?
I haven't played any Luigi's Mansion. None. That's right. Take it. Take that pain. You had a GameCube, and you loved the GameCube. It's your starting system. Yeah. Splatoon. I have played Splatoon and Splatoon 2. I don't own either, but I'm getting Splatoon 3 for sure. That was a question in chat on Splatoon. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say Paper Mario Thousand Year Door and Wind Waker, and it's because they're really hard to get nowadays. Minus Wind Waker, which is really just I don't want to commit the time to it at the moment. but I will as soon as we hit 130 followers on Twitch. That's the follower goal.
It wasn't like 129 or something.
Yeah, well, it was actually to pass Nintendo _ PlayStation, and he got
those turds get another follow.
He got another follow, so we need to get.
How dare they?
How dare they? We're getting close, Micah. We're getting close. I hope you know.
I'm excited for it, and also dread it a little bit because then I'd have to play some more Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, buddy.
I did play through not that long ago.
Yep.
And everyone who has ever listened to this podcast knows my opinion of the Ocarina of Time.
Thanks for the question, Dan. I think that was a good one. Oh, Micah, I want to throw out here. Isn't there a Pikmin game you haven't played?
Yes, I haven't played the first Pikmin.
You got to go back and play that as well.
Yeah, but
not a real fan.
Just like the second Pikmin. So
yeah, but it doesn't have
it doesn't have
Louis.
A day limit or something.
It doesn't have Louis. Is that the side character, Louis? Olimar and Louis. So it's a better game. Wow. He's the worst. Louis.
No, it's the worst as in the second one. There's some boss that just rolls over your Pikmin and kills them. One time I fought all the way to him, and I was just like, I'm just going to send all my Pikmin charging in. And every single one except like 2 got killed in this one attack. I'm just like, oh, okay, back to base.
I feel like Pikmin...
listen to 100 Pikmin perishing at the same time.
Pikmin stresses me out a little bit. It does. I like that. Especially when there's a bunch of them.
Ghost.
Oh, they're horrifying.
It's like a chorus of pain and suffering that you caused.
Fairbear makes a fantastic point in the chat that I really want to highlight here. It's so hard to go back to earlier games when you jump in late to the series. Yes. And that's why I was talking earlier with the Metroid. It's like, I'm a fan, but I don't necessarily want to go back. And that the microphone definitely picked that up, by the way, Mike.
What?
That noise. I feel like I didn't want to call you out, but I feel like it's just too funny not to. Farts are funny, and what is that?
This pen. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I thought you
guys could pick it up. I was just opening it and then clicking it closed.
I heard it sounded like just a long fart on the mic.
Fart.
Yes, like a.
I mean,
it was like right next to. It was like right next to the mic. He's gonna tell me off stream that no, it actually was. I'm using the pen as a cover up.
Yeah, I actually pooped my pants at that point in time. So.
Oh man, this is off the rails. Okay, so the comment here was going back. It is hard for me when I come into a series and I'm like, I love this. I don't necessarily want to go back and play all the old ones. That's how I've been for like every game series I've gotten into, and it's been much later that I've been like, if I have time, I'll go back and play the original games. Like recently beating Super Mario Bros. 3. And Mario Bros. 2. I had Super Mario Bros., like the original, and I then jumped to Super Mario World. And I didn't play those ones in between. And I went back and played, like, at the time, it was just like, I don't want to go back and play these old these games. They're old graphics.
They're old. They must be terrible.
And sometimes it is that way, right? Like you had a super negative experience going back to Ocarina of Time, right? Yeah.
And just because everyone talks it up so much and everyone has so much nostalgia for it. But then I played and I was like, this is not nearly as good.
I'm trying to think of an example of, like, for me, it's tough to get into Link to the Past. It's tough. It's tough having started on Ocarina of Time to go back to that form. I probably would have a more fun time now than when I played Ocarina of Time. Yeah, I got good examples here in chat. Fire Emblem. It's a little harder to go back to older Fire Emblems when you have the new ones. Final Fantasy VII.
People, no tea time.
No tea time.
What's even the point?
Yeah, what is the point? Yeah, why play Fire Emblem if you're not having tea time? Yeah, and so with this Metroid game, I am not immediately like, I should go play Super Metroid, which we have access to on the NSO. I'm not automatically like that.
Real good.
Partially because I don't want to burn myself out on a series, right? You don't want to play like just back to back to back, all in one series, all one type of game.
You don't want to like play the same game like 5 times in a row. That could be bad.
I mean, it is kind of hypocritical because I play over and over and over and over in Spelunky.
And also kind of Plock, but technically you haven't beaten that, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think you'll like ever play again once you beat it? Or if you'll lose your drive for a while?
That is a good question. I will probably play it again, but for these like event type things like Plocktober.
You'll be like one of those practically fake fans that pretends to be a fan while some event's going on. I see.
We have another answer here in chat from Mecha Dragon. Welcome to chat, by the way, Mecha Dragon. It says for him, Ultra Sun. It came out when the Switch came out, and he was too busy playing Persona 5 at the time, so it's hard to go back and play it. Oh yeah, for sure. It's a little difficult to go back and play older Pokemon games. They lack a lot of the...
Pokemon game is Pokemon Crystal. That's the best Pokemon game.
Yeah. Nostalgia fuels a lot when going back and playing games. I think you can admit that, and I can admit that for sure, because there are many people that objectively do not like Ocarina of Time. I still really enjoy it. I go back and play it. I'm still having a blast. I go back and play a lot of games that like Plock, right? Well, Plock's actually a good game. Objectively a good game.
Actually a good game. I mean, by the way you said that kind of makes it sound like you're saying Ocarina of Time isn't.
Ocarina of Time is a good game. Stop trying to trick me into admitting that it is not. It is
good. You're tricking yourself.
It is a good game. Ocarina of Time is a fantastic game.
There's a bunch of Freudian slips happening, it seems like.
Gosh. You're the worst. No, I think that nostalgia fuels a lot of the replayability of old games when someone new to the series will not enjoy it as much as someone who played it previously. That is a thing. It is a factor. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay admitting and saying that games that I played might not be as fun to a newcomer in the series. But then there are some out there that are like objectively like really good games that are fun to go back to. It really depends.
Pokemon Crystal, just because it has like the 2 regions. And then you get a Fight Trainer Red.
I would say for sure play Heart Gold, Soul Silver over Original Crystal. Yep. Graphically, holds up. Much better for sure. And mechanics-wise, there's just a lot of improved features and functionality. Heart Gold and Soul Silver might be the best Pokemon game of all time.
Yeah, they are really good. And they got that
Yeah, I got the Pokewalker. I have that. Not near me, but I have that somewhere.
Yeah, I think mine died, and
yeah, mine's definitely dead.
Probably took my Tortuga with it.
Yeah. So yes, fantastic questions, fantastic topics. Thanks for the participation in chat, y'all. Next question here comes from Solo Something. He says, "Do you think Nintendo will make any concessions, seeing how the public as a whole did not receive well the new NSO pricing chart? More 2 games for free vouchers? Question mark." So my opinion on this is that the negativity towards NSO is an overreaction. I have talked this thoroughly on Nintendo Dad's podcast, so definitely check that out. But I've also been pretty vocal in online spheres. Not in a negative way. I really like to have constructive conversation on this kind of stuff, and I do see that it is not for everybody, right? But is there enough of a negative public reaction to this to make a difference? The only time I can think is when they first released the 3DS and the price was too high. And so they lowered the price, but for those that purchased the 3DS, you weren't reimbursed. You were part of the 3DS Ambassador program, and you got access to a bunch of exclusive games to that platform. Some like Super Nintendo Virtual Console games and other things. So could we see a Switch Ambassador an NSO Ambassador program? That's where they put GoldenEye. I feel like people would be upset.
I mean, yeah, I feel like they're probably not going to do something like that. They'll just add more games to it as time goes on, I think.
I think if it does not sell well, they will do something. They will make some sort of concession.
That's a good point.
And for those that are on early, you may be getting in on some ambassador type deal where you're going to get some bonus for being an early adopter. Maybe. I don't think that's going to do that bad, though. I think that there is a negative reaction from the public, but I don't think financially it's going to be impactful. Because, you have 100,000 dislikes on the video. It's kind of a drop in the bucket to the total audience that's interested in NSO. And there are plenty of people, myself included, that are going to buy it. I still think it's a pretty good deal,
Yeah, it's like part of the family plan on it's like an extra $5 a year. Not bad. But it's a harder pill to swallow if you're by yourself, though, for sure.
Yeah, I still am in the boat where I would have paid for it. As an individual, I would have paid the $50 per year. I'm in a family plan, thankfully, so it's a little bit cheaper. I would have paid the $50 even excluding the Animal Crossing DLC, guys. That's how excited I am for N64 Online. I'm so pumped. So pumped to be able to play multiplayer with you. We get to play some Mario Kart, some Star Fox. What were the other multiplayer ones they had on there?
So I was trying to think. I don't even.
Mario was there? Mario Golf was coming.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I need to look these up again.
Yeah, there's quite a bit, and there's the potential to get original Smash Bros again, get Diddy Kong Racing. There's some good party games. Any Mario parties? There's some good games on the N64. We'll talk more about this towards the end, Community Corner. Let's move to the next question here. Thank you so much for the question, Solo. This next question comes from Joe92 on Discord. Asks, what game should an Emmy make a crossover in? I have a good answer for this one, but I want you to go first.
Oh, I feel like you should probably go first with your good answer.
Breath of the Wild 2. Can you imagine a new enemy that's like a guardian, but it's like more of an Emmy? It like chases you down and gets you as Link. That would be pretty cool. It's a dungeon mechanic. So you go into the dungeon area and this thing is like hunting you down, and you
have to kind of make your way through pretty quick.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I feel like it would actually work really well. Just slap a ancient guardian looking armor onto an Emmy and you got yourself a new villain.
The exact same with some paint on it or something.
Mega Dragon in chat says Animal Crossing. Oh, man.
I mean, that'd be cool if they just had an Emmy posing in the background.
You just hop on Captain's boat and get the heck out of there.
Then maybe there's some islands you show up on and you have to try and collect really cool resources and things while it's just chasing you around.
It's like, well, they already have those. It's the spider, the tarantula. It's basically the Emmy of Animal Crossing.
Except the spiders just, you go back to the start of the island. I'm thinking the Emmy just yeets you into the ocean or something.
Yeah. What do you think? What kind of Emmy crossover would you like to see?
I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is Luigi's Mansion, because it's kind of more along the lines of like a horror.
Yeah,
game, and you could have that kind of stalking you around.
Luigi's Mansion next game's going to be like take place in sci-fi-esque. That would be cool.
Yeah, up the creepiness factor, the horror factor, just a little bit.
That would be pretty sweet. I was thinking like Star Fox would kind of make sense aesthetically. Oh, yeah. And then I had another one that I was like, oh, but Luigi's Mansion completely derailed that. Fuck. What was it? I like completely derailed the thought with Luigi's Mansion because that's just such a good idea. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me at some point. Thank you so much for the question, Joe92. Emmy crossovers. I like the enemy mechanic. The Emmy enemy mechanic. And I think go. Oh.
Smash Brothers.
It came back. No, just have these in Metroid Prime 4.
Oh yeah, I almost said that, but I was like, I don't know if that's enough of like a crossover per se.
Not really, but I think it would be really cool. Also, what the heck is their armor made out of that like nothing you shoot at it pierces it? That's the dumbest thing ever. Like, we have made armor of
those strong metals, yo.
Unobtainium for these research robots, and nothing else in the galaxy has these. Like, could Samus just get some of this armor? You'd be invincible.
It would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Emmy armor. Next question. We got another question from Mason. I should have put this up there with the other, with the... Oh, no, wait. I didn't ask Mason's question yet. This is his first question in the list.
Yeah, I was like...
Mason, thank you for the question. Yeah, thank you for the question, Mason. I don't know what I was thinking here. With the impending release of Mario Party, whatever it's called, that's literally what he put. What would be the best way for Nintendo to make it unique from the original? So this is Mario Party Superstars, and the original being Super Mario Party for the Switch. What are some ways to make it different from the original that they should add? I want a bigger roster, honestly. I think that would be pretty cool. Add more characters. It's not hard. It's not like the characters do a ton. Super complex animations. I guess in the mini games they all have their different things that they do, but not crazy.
It's not.
What they could do different is to have more boards, and they're not doing that. Like the boards that we're getting 5 boards, I believe. Gosh, I really should fact check myself here. But there's not that many boards. When you go back to older games, I think the Wii had 8 different game boards. And I just feel like more boards would be good. Yeah. You know what's funny? Fairber brings up in chat, Monty Mole is a playable character, and there is a Whack-A-Mole game. I need to play that game as that character and really just experience like, what is this? It's super. I'm so distracted by chat tonight. Sorry guys. Sorry for everybody listening to the post show. Not post, like to this post live. What do you think? What would you like to see that would make Mario Party nice and fresh?
I don't know if it like really needs something unique to make it different. Just take all the good mini games and the good boards. That's pretty much all you need. Because the game mechanics of Mario Party are pretty good. It seems like when they try and make it unique, it doesn't come across as well. And add in that river rapids from the newest Mario Party, because that's awesome.
I agree on that front for sure. So we have another question here from Mason. This falls in line with Mason's typical questions for us, and it's always a pit them against each other kind of question, but this is a good one. All of them are good. It makes it sound like the other ones are bad. This one's interesting to me. In the event that Link and Mario were in the Roman Colosseum during the height of the Roman Empire, what would happen?
Well,
I feel like we've answered
a lot less bloodshed in the gladiator fights and things. It'd be a little more family friendly.
A little more family friendly, for sure, for sure.
Smash Bros.
But in a gladiator like event of Mario versus Link, who would win?
I mean, I got to give it to Link in this one.
100%. I'm 100% on the same page. I feel like we've answered this question.
Mario, maybe. I mean, he's throwing some fireballs. He could do some damage with that.
Link's just arsenal of weapons is just too crazy. Take all that away and just sheer manpower in Link versus Mario. I think Link still would win.
I don't know. Mario's got that like short, stocky body. I think he's hiding a lot of power in that form.
Oh, he can jump pretty high too. But you look at Link can also jump pretty high, and
not to Mario heights. Mario's jumping like 4 times his height.
Well, Link couldn't even jump till Breath of the Wild. Let's not forget that.
He could only jump when he's about to run off.
But that might be because he's actually a tank. Like he can't lift him. He can't get the hops. You know.
He's 800 pounds of pure muscle.
He does some crazy superhuman feats as a non-powered up Link, like all the time.
I think no weapons on either side. I think Mario could give Link a run for his money. Link's just too used to having his sword and shield.
But even Breath of the Wild, you got the pot lid against a Guardian. You can take a Guardian. Link is a beast. Mario, well, what is Mario without his?
Tried that, I would lose 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah. Mario is kind of like an overweight plumber, you know, like he's not in the best physique for battle.
He's like an overweight plumber that could jump 15 feet.
Yeah. It has to do with the gravitational pull in Mushroom Kingdom being different than Earth. We'll get into that some other time, I think. Yeah. Thanks for the questions, Mason.
Is Mario a human? I'm thinking he's not. New Dunk City people and Mario are very different.
It's true.
I don't know if Mario's native to the Mushroom Kingdom, but if he is, the difference in gravity shouldn't make a difference because he should be used to it. So, I mean, if you're born on a planet with like half gravity, I think you acclimate to it and whatnot.
I don't know how that works. We haven't had anybody live on a planet long enough.
Yeah, we don't have any other weird aliens that could tell us the answer to that. But that's just my assumption.
Yeah.
According to like John Carter, because he goes to Mars and all those people really act like it's normal gravity, but he's like super strong because gravity's low or whatnot. That's my scientific evidence.
John Carter. That's a callback to a movie that I never watched. So next question here comes from $2 Hero. And this is the last question we got here. It says, we are fully into the fall season and the amount of games to buy/play right now is straight up overwhelming. There's probably no good life hack to finding the 25th hour of the day, but what do you guys do to manage your gaming time? I'll let you lead with this one. I'm going to give it some thought.
Well, you just sleep as little as possible so you can maximize your game time.
That is bad advice.
Time machine?
I mean, sleep. Oversleeping is not good for you, right? But
yeah, some people don't require as much sleep as other people, it seems like. So just be lucky and be one of those people, or train yourself to be one of those people.
Neither of us are those kinds of people, though. We require quite a bit of sleep.
I need my sleep.
Yeah, I need at least 9 hours. Sometimes 10.
I need a lot of sleep, but also at the same time, once I reach a certain point, I don't get more well rested. I'm just always tired when I try and wake up.
Yeah. Let's see. I might have to say. So for one, I just want to shout out and say having the Switch be a portable console really does help. Because you can play on the go, so you can fit it in between doing things if you are, and the way the system is set up so nice for this, because if you just sleep the system and then pull it back up, you start back in the game where you were and right where you left off. So there's that. So try and fitting it in those little moments. I would say that I'm a very scheduled, like busy person. I work full time. I have 3 kiddos, and yeah, I have a family. I have pets. I've got home responsibilities. There's a lot. There's a lot calling at my time, and then this podcast takes up a lot of time. To be frank and honest, I love doing it. I wish I had more time to do more stuff with it. Like you know, Mike, we were talking yesterday on the Nintendo Dads about this. Like, what is the goal of your podcast growth? Like, where are you trying to go? And that's really it for me. It's like I want more time to make more content and do more stuff. And so by having a bigger audience, you get more opportunities for things like review codes and like money coming from subs from Twitch and advertisements on YouTube, that kind of stuff to help fund endeavors and justify the time spent.
I mean, you just gotta become a famous streamer, and then you can play games all the time.
Yeah, help us become famous streamers, guys. No, just help us. It is super great to have such an awesome supportive audience. Thanks to everybody who listens to our show, and for everybody that goes above and beyond, leaves 5-star reviews, goes out and thumbs ups the videos that we put out, follows us on social medias. All of that really, really does help to making this a bigger thing. Because, like I said, I want more time. So I spend a lot of time doing the podcast stuff. Between running the social media accounts, making video content for TikTok, YouTube, and prepping for the podcast itself, editing the podcast, advertising the podcast, coordinating to get guests on the show, which we have guests lined up coming up. So stay tuned. We're gonna have some awesome people on the show. There's a lot that you got to do for that, and it eats at the time that I'm like, I kind of want to play games. The best tips that I can give are to multitask, and that being said, I like to play games with my family. So
if you have kids, get them into gaming early so you can.
Well, yeah, we like to play games together. If we're gonna go do something, we can take the Switch on the drive and play in the car.
As long as you're not the one driving.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Wouldn't drive like Switches. No, I'm just kidding. And then to just carve out dedicated time for it. That if you... I don't do this. I do not do this. I'm giving advice that I don't follow. But having a schedule, having a planner, like a written schedule of times to do things and things to do, you maximize time. At points in my life where I have done that, I have so much more dedicated focus and time to things, and carving out extra time in the week for you and to do gaming, I think is totally fair. Just don't let it engulf the rest of your life, because all of those responsibilities, you got to get all that stuff done. That's my 2 cents on that. I kind of try and squeeze it into different spots and game with the family. Yeah. And, I really enjoy the streaming aspect of our podcast, because I get to kind of do 2 birds, 1 stone with making content for Nintendo Pals and playing games. So I get to do something fun that I enjoy doing, but I'm also doing something fun that I enjoy doing and making stuff for the Nintendo Pals channels. And yeah, I'm not I'm not an actor on the streams. It's just me playing games. And so it's that time. It's nice to have an excuse to play games sometimes, like, I gotta do a stream, it's been a while.
Yeah, dang it, I have to play some of these games now.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question, $2 Hero. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts and advice. Hit us up on social media or on our Discord. This is one that I think a lot of people struggle with. Got to find balance in life, and sometimes games, between everything else, just get cut out of your time. You're just too busy with work, you're too busy with family, and life gets in the way. But the nice thing about Nintendo and about gaming in general is you can take a break, you can come back, and you can jump back in. Fantastic question. We have another question here in chat from Mechadragon 101. He asks, what are you guys' opinions on cloud gaming like Amazon Luna? Or what's the Google one? Stadia. And there's lots of cloud gaming coming to Switch as well. What's your opinion on this, Micah?
I think the concept of cloud gaming is really cool. But also at the same time, I don't think my internet is quite good enough to make cloud gaming work well for me. But the concept of it is just really cool. It would make a lot more games more accessible, and you could essentially be buying cheaper systems in the future if they're not doing the processing. But then you'd probably also have to pay more for subscriptions. So who knows how that would even out?
Yeah, I think right off the bat, you isolate a ton of people from being able to play your games by taking the cloud route. It's like we need the infrastructure, not just in the United States, but worldwide, the infrastructure to get that to be a viable option for everybody is not there yet. And it's going to be a while before it gets to a point where it's going to be for everybody. But if you can use it, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I have not done any cloud gaming. I will be doing cloud gaming when Kingdom Hearts comes to the Switch. That's how I'm going to be playing the Kingdom Hearts.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah. So I don't have enough experience with it to definitively say yes, no, it's good, bad. But I think overall it's a cool idea when it works. I don't like that it isolates such a huge audience of people. That's a bummer, But if you get,
I feel like solo cloud gaming probably works better than I don't know if there are even any online multiplayer cloud gaming things like that, because that would just add to different lags and things, and that could just be frustrating. I feel like it's a little easier to swallow if you're playing solo.
Yeah, and I don't like that games are mixing the physical route and going only cloud. It's definitely a cheaper option for them, but it is a bummer that it's not an option for the consumer. You have to get it that way. If you're going with a service like Luna, of course, that's all you're gonna get, or Stadia. But in the case of like Kingdom Hearts, like I would have picked up physical cartridges for those if they were available, or picked them up as a digital game that could be downloaded on the system. Just because cloud gaming, you have to be attached, and for the best experience, you want to be hardwired, you know, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the portability of the Switch, unfortunately. Once the technology gets there, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really nice. And yeah, you're right. Cheaper consoles, and potentially cheaper games, because it's not going to be cheaper games. Who are we kidding? It'll be the same price. Yeah. It
could be cheaper games, but
it might be the same price, keeping up with inflation. You know what I mean? With like producing cartridges and all the stuff that comes with that. Yeah. That's a great question. Thank you for the question, Mecha Dragon 101. So that wraps up our questions, but I had a couple topics here I want to talk to you about in the community corner. We'll go through these kind of quick because our episode's getting long. Plus, we have our sweet new outro I want to show off and play.
Showing off, I forgot there's something that's gonna show off a little bit.
Oh yes!
Shout out to Retro Logic. I entered into one of their Friday giveaways. It's actually my first one I ever entered into. I got this sweet Nintendo Power magazine, so shout out to them. You should check them out. They do these Friday giveaways. You can get some pretty cool Nintendo merch.
Yeah, we've collaborated with them a lot. We consider them a sister podcast of sorts. A brother podcast? I don't know why sister is the term we go to first.
Yeah, I don't know.
Siblings. We're siblings.
Yeah. I actually, when I found out I won, I was like, oh man, this is like the first one I've entered into. I almost felt like I should be like, nah, just give it to someone else. But at the same time, I was like, that's real cool, and I kind of want it. So.
Yeah, they started their show about the same time as us. So it's siblings with us, All N, a Nintendo podcast, and Retro Logic. We're all buddies. We're all buddies in the podcasting space, the indie podcast scene. Thanks for that, Retro Logic. Third strongest mole in chat, one of the hosts. Thanks for being here. So 5 years ago, we just reached the 5-year anniversary of when the Switch was first unveiled. And it had that guy was playing a game, and then dog needed to go out on a walk, so it's like, and goes out and walks the dog, and then all these people playing Switch, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a portable system, which, you know, at the time wasn't really that mind-boggling to me, because the Wii U had paved the way for that in a way. Like, I thought that's what the Wii U was going to be. I thought the Wii U was going to be something that you could take. It
was, as long as you also had something to plug it into.
Yeah. I just remember. Do you remember what you thought at the time?
I mean, yeah, there are all these rumors of a hybrid system, and I did not believe them.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
I was like, because then it would be underpowered. They wouldn't be able to keep up with like new generations and things.
Oh yeah, I'm remembering you saying. I remember these conversations now. Yeah.
The Wii U, like, it had the screen, but that wasn't really doing any processing. It was just receiving what was coming from the system that was doing everything. Yeah, so I didn't think they'd be able to make it compact enough and have it run well.
I remember even when they announced it, you were a little skeptical that it would be powerful enough, but then you were like looking at the trailers, you're like, it looks pretty good.
I wasn't taking into account that they can go for like a lower resolution on the smaller screen, because it's a smaller screen and it still looks good.
Right.
So that really helps with processing and whatnot. But yeah, I was pretty surprised when that was announced.
Yeah, I wasn't too blown away by the fact that it could do that, if I recall correctly, but was still excited, still super excited. And they were showing games. They're like, whoa, Mario Kart's going to be here? There's going to be a new Mario game? Zelda? Like, we all knew Zelda was coming, but like, man, it was pretty crazy. It also launched this new like marketing strategy that Nintendo has, where it's just people playing Switch in real life, but not. You know, they're
at the basketball courts.
They're in these situations that you're like, nobody's playing the Switch like that. Rooftop party.
Yeah, I did play the Switch on an airplane, so that was cool.
They did show that.
Kind of get airsick. Airsick, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I play Switch games on a plane, so I found that out.
That's a bummer. Yeah. That seems like a great time to play Switch.
For real.
Yeah. I am so blown away that was 5 years ago. That's kind of crazy to think that we've had the Switch for 4 years.
And for a little less though, because it took some convincing. One of those fake fans that didn't want to get the system.
I was not a day one Switch owner. You were correct.
Played all on Osos.
Yeah, I played. So my next door neighbor had the Switch, and I played a lot. I played the entire Breath of the Wild game on his Switch. Guys, I was in college. I was poor and broke, and I wasn't like Oso. I didn't go, even being poor broke, go buy the system. Maybe it's because my wife was not quite as into the idea as his wife was of getting the system. Plus, they had it. You know, I was the true Nintendo friend. You know what I'm saying? Like we were all that at one point, where you mooched all your game time off of that one friend. Right, that's for sure how it was. Even for the Wii U, that's how it was for Micah and I. Micah got the Wii U before I did, and I remember playing it a lot. Yeah,
just got the Wii U, so
yeah. No, my family had it though, but they got it later. They got it later.
I wasn't necessarily even planning on picking it up right away, but I was just at Walmart. And they just had some sitting there. I'm like,
guess I will pick it up.
Maybe
all your pickup stories sound like this. You're like, I wasn't really planning on going, but I happened to be at Walmart getting some milk, and I saw it on the shelf and was like, yeah, sure. I'll just buy a Switch. I'll just buy a Wii U.
Well, yeah, the Switch actually took me a little bit of effort to get. So that one was sold out for a while.
And Metroid Dread, you went in, and you had to ask for it.
Not even like super early. I just it was like an hour and 15 minutes after opening. Maybe it's actually just like 45 minutes. But I went there and I was like, y'all have Metroid Dread? And they had to go ask their manager if they could sell it yet. And I was like, I guess no one's been here for it.
Yeah.
I never show up for things at opening.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've told this story multiple times on the show, but I was there with Oso, helping him get his Switch day one. I waited in line in the cold at Best Buy. We each took a different store. And I was there. I should have just got one. I don't know why I didn't. I literally could not afford it at the time. Bank account was at...
Your wife might have murdered you if you showed back up with a Switch.
I got one! Yeah, for real. And I ended up getting one first Black Friday. I got the bundle with Mario Kart, so I got a really good deal on it. But I did end up getting the version 1 Switch. Yeah, great times. The Switch is a fantastic system. I that's why I went day one on OLED. I was like, I got to make up for my failure as a fan and get this launch system. Yeah. So then lastly here, Micah, let's talk top games you would like to see added to N64 NSO. So this podcast goes live on Monday, the 25th. NSO will be live at some point today. So we have not played it yet. You know, this is past us saying, whoa, what do we want coming? But even we know what's coming right now, but what are things that we want coming in the future? What do you got?
Off the top of my head, Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's been so long since I've played that. It's probably not nearly as good as I remember it. I was one of those.
That is...
A friend had it.
I did it again, my guy. Hit a sound effect button. Scared myself a little bit. Oh, my goodness. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I didn't realize you'd played that. That's, like, not a kid game.
Yeah, it wasn't, like... I only played a little bit of the campaign, and I was like, there's some, like, real weird stuff, and, like... It seemed like there's a lot of potty humor.
Oh, a ton. Yeah, that's what...
I mostly just played, like, a multiplayer with some friends. Perfect Dark would be another good one to add.
I don't know. They didn't announce Donkey Kong 64, did they?
That's literally what I was going to say next. Donkey Kong 64. Because I have not played that.
Yeah. It's fun. I like it. A lot of people don't, but I like it. GoldenEye is one that I think everybody would really like, but I don't know if licensing will allow it, so maybe
I forgot about that one.
Perfect Dark instead. Alternate.
There's Nintendo, NFL Blitz 2000.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Potentially, but definitely the greatest sports game ever made. Potentially not including Mario sports games, but
it's a good one. I would love to see Hey You Pikachu. I know that one's like so impossible. You'd have to like sell a microphone. It would be so fun though. That would be so fun. Maybe they make it part of the app. Use the NSO app to play Hey You Pikachu.
This might be a workaround for that.
Pokemon Stadium, I don't think has been announced for it. And is Puzzle League on N64? Pokemon Puzzle League, those are good ones. Diddy Kong Racing. Diddy Kong Racing would be a fantastic one. And Smash Bros.
F-Zero.
Original.
Are they adding an F-Zero?
They are adding F-Zero. Yeah.
Okay.
Original Smash Bros. Would be really fun to have play and have online play for. And then any Mario parties would be pretty fun too.
Especially with online play.
There's Animal Crossing on this list, which was technically the original Animal Crossing was released as a disk drive add-on for the N64 called something different. Animal Forest, I want to say. That would be cool. What a throwback that would be. They released Mother 3D,
Ooh.
which was supposedly in development at some point. You got any others? You know, I remember really liking Glover as a kid. Glover. Yeah, you know Glover?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You play as a glove with like the Pixar ball.
What
it looks like.
What a surprise.
I know there's a lot of love for Blast Corp.
Star Wars Pod Racing?
Yeah, but they're not going to do that one. That one's been re-released already. Sure. Harvest Moon 64. Probably be pretty good. Superman. Let's just come full circle here and let's put Superman for the N64. One of the like widely panned as worst game ever. I kind of want it to be there, you know?
So you can experience it?
Just so I can experience it, yeah. And then my last pick is going to be Sarge's Heroes 2. That is a great game.
That game is not that good.
It has not aged well.
It needs some updated controls.
It has not aged well at all.
Hard to aim.
But it is one of the first shooter games. It's one of the first shooter games to have like a multiplayer shooting mode in third person. And
they have like a sniper in that mode or something, and I don't think I've ever hit anyone with it. It's the hardest thing to aim.
Yeah.
But I mean, just update the controls a little bit, make that a little easier, a little smoother.
Yep.
That'd be pretty good.
I think we've exhausted. That's like the entire N64 library right there. So just bring it all. I mean, it's a smaller library by comparison to like the Super Nintendo and the original Nintendo. I would actually really like to see some more systems get added. A lot of people want Game Boy. I want Game Boy Advance games. Specifically, I want to be able to play Golden Sun. I'll try it out. Mike has talked it up so much. I gotta try it out.
Games are still good.
Yeah. Well, that
Actually, the first two. Third one, I potentially got my hopes a little too high for as well, but first two, super good.
that is gonna. Unless you got anything else you want to add, I think that's it. We're in a wrap. We're finishing up here at about our magical time of 1 hour and 40-ish minutes. It's a little over that. So, if you would like to support the Nintendo Pals. Us. Why am I saying it like in third person? If you'd like to support Nintendo Pals, jump over to our social medias and
They're pretty cool guys.
give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. Follow, subscribe, do all the positive interactions. Please, please, please. It helps us so much. And please, again, leave a 5-star review for our podcast on your podcast listening app. If you are an Apple user, jump on over to Apple Podcasts where you can leave a 5-star review. If you're not, check out Podchaser, which is a great place to leave reviews. Free to sign up and very easy to get set up on. Links to that will be in the description, so you can head on over and leave us a 5-star review. We live for that feedback, y'all. It's great. It's great to get the feedback and it helps promote our show. And it's completely free to you. It's free. It's free to do. Do it. All it takes is a little bit of your time. And as we've established before, it's time that you can skip washing your hands. And you can come. No, that is not a good thing to skip.
As long as you wash one hand, don't use the other hand for anything.
Take that 1 minute of time away from listening to
this podcast.
1 minute from this podcast? Sure. Take 1 minute from this podcast and leave a review.
Andrew starts talking about Plock.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Or anytime Micah starts talking about Ocarina of Time. That's the time to leave a review.
That doesn't make sense.
You just tune it out and leave that 5-star review. I want to give a super special thanks to Roger Pollard for making our logo and the music that we use for the intro and outro of this show. And I haven't played the outro music yet because I want to let it sit and play as its own thing. Future episodes we'll talk over the intro and the outro like we normally do, but these are just really cool, and I want you guys to fully experience them as they are. Huge thanks to him and the work he did for us on these. Check out rpollard.com for more of that stuff. And he's like, hey, I loved doing the commission for music, so hit him up if you're looking for some music done.
He even has a game on the App Store and Google Play Store, Mellowed.
Yes, if you like this music,
without a Y.
If you like this music, he has composed a ton of music for that game, which is essentially Guitar Hero Portable. It's really good, y'all. It's very, very well done. Like looking at our logo, listening to the music, he just exudes talent in artistic ability. So you want to see all that come together in an app? Check out Mellowed on the App Store and on Google Play. There, we've sufficiently advertised for our good friend Roger. He's been on the show before as well. So let's listen.
Episode.
Yeah,
we did our music episode.
He's been on a couple. I think he's been on 2 episodes. Very early though. Yeah. So here is the outro music for Nintendo Pals, but we'll go with a send off from Micah. Haha, on the spot.
Yes, one of them good send-offs. I got nothing. I'm blanking so hard. I totally forgot we even do send-offs.
Oh yeah. Superman for N64 Online, y'all. And we'll talk at y'all next week.
This is why we need more guests, so I don't have to.